Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P-Guru's channel. I'm your host Shriya. Joining me is Kaartik Gor, and we missed a couple of sessions because Kartik ji was traveling and then I was traveling. Let's welcome Kartik ji. Kartik ji, Namaskar and welcome to P-Guru's channel. How are you?
Namaskar, Namah Shivaya. I'm all good, Shriji.
Thank you so much, Kartik ji. You are a man on a mission. You've been here, there, everywhere, and I hope you've settled down back at home now. Kartik ji, this Op Sindhu, one of the things that you mentioned, we will touch upon that even though it's not in the title, which is the communication of what really happened and what kind of a devastating defeat Pakistan endured at the hands of India. That is something that it's coming in dribs and drabs, trickle by trickle, one drop at a time. It's coming out now, and that part we are going to discuss at the second part. First, talk to us a little bit about where do you think India is headed next? Because here's an interesting theory somebody put out. I just got off a Tamil program, P Guru's Tamil, and he said, is it possible that BLA and the KPK rebels, TTP for example, these are the ones setting off all these small charges, which is causing these tremors in Karachi city beneath the population center of 1.5, 1.8, 3.0 Richter scale on the Richter scale. So this is an interesting theory. So talk to us a little bit. You are much closer to home. Your neighbor probably is from Pakistan. They will be telling you a lot of truths about Kirana Hills and other places. Over to you, Kartik ji.
Oh, thank you, Shriji. The fact is that no Pakistani will ever say the truth because they have never been told the truth. That's a fact of life. And if you have been following guys like Hamid Mir who have their own theories that even the satellites were made in Pakistan, even the missiles were made in Pakistan, then you can understand that even if an educated guy like Hamid Mir is basically nothing but a stooge of gate number 4. Normal Pakistanis will never know the fact, which is a good thing for us Indians because see, we Indians at least are fortunate enough that we have not been lied to that level. If we lost 62, we lost 62. We know that yes, we lost 62. Probably we should have used the Air Force, which we did not. So we are geopolitically to that extent much more aware because fortunately India has been governed and not by army. So we have not been under the army boot, so to say. But since we have started about Operation Sindoor, let me share few things which sort of make me absolutely happy, and few things which sort of I still cannot understand. Why does India act like this? And more importantly, with every passing day, what we see is that actually the victory has been so decisive, right? And but yet if you see the optics have been so much wanting, right from day one, when I had tweeted right up there that our optic was that, hey, listen guys, we have hit the 9 terrorists, sort of their hideout, so to say, and we have not hit any of the military targets. So guys, let's have peace and let's not take it forward. And I, in my mind, was thinking, guys, this is so against all the things that we have been saying for all these years. We have been saying that, Pakistan uses terrorism as a state policy. And on one fine day, we are trying to dissociate, terrorism and Pakistan army, which I couldn't understand at all. A great Sushma Swaraj had famously called it terroristan, right? And then on one fine day, on the first day of Operation Sindoor, we were trying to say that no, actually both are different. So being a Mesh Lagna person, Shriji, that I cannot sort of still digest, in terms of, why are we not having, even the optics or let us say, even the narrative. People punch 1, but they say 10. And here we are punching 10 and we are saying 1 hesitantly. And even if you see now, actually we have hit them more than what we would have assessed. And actually Pakistan is coming up with new theories that, okay, no guys, actually you guys hit us more. But at the same time, we actually won the war and Asim Munir is going to be the field marshal. So, as it happens, we really need to pull up our socks, especially in this information warfare. And credit to that extent must be given to ISPR. And somewhere down the line, we need to sort of really start investing, or like political parties have their own information warfare wings. It is high time Bharat also gets into it, like an Israel has it, or any good country has it, where we are not only hitting them where it hurts, but everywhere around the world people are able to understand that, hey, listen guys, this is Bharat, don't mess with them, don't mess with them, and if you mess with them, this is what happens. And I feel that that is very, very important. Now, having said that, I'm extremely proud of what we did. Fantastic achievement, but the body language should be much more better. And I hope that next time we get an opportunity, which I'm sure will come to that, Modi ji for a couple of days more would sort of keep that phone away, so that whenever Trump is going to call, or any of those Gyanis are going to call to give Gyan, they will hear that standard line which we get in India, ke is route ki sabhi line vyast hai. And all we needed, Shriji, was 2 days more. And 2 days more, and Asim Munir would have been on his knees rather than him being the field marshal, so to say. So that is a little bit of a regret that I have. But if for those of you people who have been following me across would understand that I've been talking about a very, very important transit, which is about Ketu and Mars entering Leo, and that I've been talking about from a couple of months before, and they have entered there on 7th of June. Okay. And immediately the day exactly when Ukraine had that big attack, right? So in a way that has activated, with Mars also having a Rashi Drishti, and the bigger operation which I see after 20th of July. So all those put together, I feel that from now till October, there is a high probability of we seeing an Operation Sindoor Part 2, because I'm very sure that with the pounding that Pakistani army has had, there will be one more attack like Pahalgam very soon.
Thank you so much. And viewers, one takeaway from the conversation I had just a few minutes ago with Kalawai Venkat, what he mentioned is, see, Pakistan had air defense systems from multiple countries. Some countries' air defense systems were just disabled. Other countries' air defense systems were disabled, then destroyed. The second one being China. The first one is United States. You know why? Why this is important is US is really hurting now. I mean, they may not show it, but you can see statements like, for example, a general has invited a field marshal to come and participate in some trials here. They have a budget now to shop for ammunition and arms. I'm sure they're going to go and try and buy something from US. The important takeaway is the nuclear sites, Kirana Hills, Nur Khan Base, Kahuta, as well as Jacobabad. The air defense systems here is believed to be, very bold and underlined, believed to be those of United States. So in a way, I'm a US citizen. I'm a little concerned that a country which is, not being known for its technology in military has basically fooled American systems. But that is the truth. So US is hurting. You can see the reason why that, within a few hours. But to your point about India, Modi staying away from phone, it is believed. Okay, it is believed. 9th, JD Vance makes a statement. Vice President makes a statement. Unka mamla hai. It is their business. They are dealing with it. Right?
Correct.
On 10th, the attacks were not at night time. They were during the day. The airfields being taken up. That was all during the day. And that's when the panic button was pressed. Nur Khan got completely destroyed. They don't even want to know what happened underneath in the nuclear command control center. They've just completely pasted it over. 100 people vaporized. That's what has happened there. We don't know how many American personnel are there. Because chances are, if this was a nuclear command center, there would be some American presence there. Common sense, okay? And this is going to come out. This is going to come out. But it is also believed that American air defenses that were managing both the Kirana Hills as well as Jacobabad. And I'm also hearing Kahuta also has taken a hit.
Correct.
So all these have happened. So US is also a little bit, or more than a little bit, concerned about this whole thing. So in a way, you can think, why is it that US is rewarding all this by giving so much money? All aid from IMF and World Bank eventually finds its way back into the United States, one
True.
way or the other. Just take my word for it. Now let's get back to July. You said July 15th. July. What date did you say that the second
July
between
20th. July 20.
July 20th? So right now, the Pakistani air defenses are non-existent. India can go at will and take out anything they want, anyone they want. What is it that India is waiting for right now? Because I'm also hearing that they were trying to do something from incursions from Nepal, and about 400 illegal madrasas and other religious institutions in the garb of religious institution, they were smuggling in people. Those have been destroyed along 4 districts in Uttar Pradesh. That's known fact now. There is something being planned from Bangladesh. How vulnerable, in your opinion, according to the charts, is India, where it is again forced to respond to something that this mischief maker is going to make?
India is very, very vulnerable. And this time the attack won't be via Kashmir. 90% it won't be via Kashmir. It would be via either infiltration will happen via Bangladesh, Nepal, anywhere except for Kashmir. To ensure that it will look as if like it is more of a internal attack, or it is happening an attack which is happening via some other country or via some other sect, so to say. So it won't be via Kashmir. So Pakistan will try its best, or rather the ISI would try its best to show itself clean, but keeping fingers crossed, post July 20, I see a high chance that there will be an attack, which will be probably in any of the metro cities. If you remember that when I had done the swearing-in chart of Devendra Fadnavis ji, at that point also I had mentioned that with the Papa Khatri on the 4th house, there is a huge chance of the situation in Maharashtra can be very dicey, or we can't rule out another sort of a Mumbai attack sort of a situation. So we have to be very, very careful about it. Now with the amount of explosives, etc., which has just been found even in Uttar Pradesh, right? And with our ports being so vulnerable, and we really need to be careful. But this time I'm very sure. See, I was very reluctant, Shriji, if you remember, that I was always hoping that the attacks would happen post 14th of May. So in a way, 7th of May was a little ahead before Jupiter's transit to Mithuna. So at that point of time, I had given one very, very famous line at that point of time that, listen, guys, the moment Jupiter comes to Mithuna, it is in Marana Karakasthana. So those so-called peacemakers won't trouble us. So all these phone calls which probably came, or shall we say, let us look at it life in a positive side, that probably now when we are going to do it, probably we'll have, not only a clear victory in terms of the ground realities, but even in terms of optics. So there will come a chance, and I hope this time, as I requested, let Narendra Bhai go all out. And let's make it conclusively clear that, guys, we are not here to become the good guys. You can talk whatever you want to talk. We care two hoots about what you think about us, but we are the gundas of this so-called land, and we don't care that if you sort of don't respect us as a Vishwa Guru or anything else, but we are not the person to be messed with. The day we start talking like this, Shriji, I think India would have been arrived, and we would start at least hitting or punching to our weight. Currently, I feel, though we are big in terms of economy, this, that, but still somewhere down the line, our Indianness is, where we are too much into that good boy image. We always want to be that good boy, who is going to wake up early morning, put lots of oil, reach school on time, always nail will be okay, the tie will be perfect. But the world doesn't work like that, frankly speaking. So come this opportunity now, I hope Narendra Bhai is going to go all out, and we are going to be an absolute sort of conclusive victory, both in terms of optics at the same time on the ground.
Thank you. And before we go to Ukraine, I just wanted to add one more thing. I left it out deliberately the last time. It is believed, Kartik ji, it is believed. See, let's look at the time sequence, right? Kirana Hills, out of 6 entrances, 5 were taken out and 2 bombed. The second one went very deep and it has basically disabled whatever nuclear storage is there for thousands of years. They can't even go there. We don't know how many people are there. Jacobabad also, very, very decisive strike there. What has
Correct.
happened within an hour? American nuclear resonance plane, which is a reconnaissance plane, where they tried to look out for radiation from the fallout, was up in the air, and
Yeah.
and they were trying to see what was going on. And then 2 planes, one believed from China and
Egypt.
one from Beijing and one from Egypt, came in
Mm.
carrying boron, and this was sent to these places. And that tells you that there was some radiation fallout. And I'm not
Mm.
even looking at Kahuta, but while all this was happening, this was the 10th morning India time, all this was going on. Okay. It is believed, again, don't hold me responsible, it is believed that for the first 2, 3 times advance tried to call up Modi didn't pick up the phone.
Mm.
And then it is believed that, and Modi, even then, he said, I'm not listening to you. Let their DGMO call our DGMO. And then at 3
Mm.
o'clock happened. So this
Mm.
is all the back end. But there were some things that were also told that India is not taking a step back. There were 7 things agreed to. Only 3 have come out. The other 4 things are still there, but it's not there. So we have to wait and see how this plays out. US is definitely in a position of weakness now. Israel has signed an arms deal. Armenia has signed an arms deal. Philippines has signed for BrahMos. So a lot of things are happening. India is suddenly now a competitor to United States, to Russia, to China in the arms space. And India's labor being low, it's going to win. I'm no doubt about it. It's going to win. China could be the only competitor on the price line, except Chinese things have been completely shown to be faulty. So this is the economical aspect of Operation Sindoor.
True. True.
Next time around, predict us. What do you think Operation Sindoor V2 will do to Pakistan? Will they be able to break it down into 4 parts? Because Rajnath Singh ji has made it very clear. Next time, there is no single Pakistan anymore. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm on record that Pakistan will cease to exist in the form in which it is by 2027-28. So basically it's a Chaitra Shukla Pratipada chart. So that is a time which is going to be there, and with the situation which is there already in Baluchistan and all. Frankly speaking, see, there are 2 key players as far as Pakistan is concerned. First, obviously the CIA. If CIA wants, frankly speaking, it's a matter of weeks, if not months. If Pakistan can break. The second is how badly India wants it to happen. That is also important. If India wants it to happen very badly, I think it will happen very, very easily. Right? And India has got the tools, India has got the funds, and India doesn't need to do much, frankly speaking, because everything is ready on the other side. So it is more like, in Bangladesh, at least we had to, train the Mukti Bahinis, and there was a huge thing that India had to do. Whereas as of now, everything is well trained, everything is there. You just give it little sort of a support, and it's a matter of time. So I'm very confident that Pakistan will cease to exist in the form in which it is, and more so I'm confident because they have just recently increased the budget also of the army. So a country like Pakistan cannot exist like this, and to a large extent, it all depends on to what level America needs them. Right. So if America needs them via Iran, I think that's the whole game plan, frankly speaking, the way I look at it. And in fact, last year I had said that 2025 is going to be a situation where Iran is actually going to be the flashpoint. While we are talking about Operation Sindoor, we are talking about Ukraine, but let's not forget that there is an elephant in the room, which is Iran. And America, or let's say Trump, owes a lot to the Jew lobby. So let's understand that fact, that if Iran is not going to give up on its nuclear ambitions, and there is no so-called deal with Trump happening, we can expect some fireworks happening over there.
Thank you so much. And let's take a look at Russia-Ukraine update. Now we know that Ukraine not only took down these planes in different hangars across Russia, but they also took down one bridge with a passenger train on top of the bridge. The entire train came down, people died. This part has been kind of downplayed, but it is now very apparent. Was it needed for Ukraine to do that? Ukraine can make the argument that in some areas there was a genocide conducted by Russia when they were trying to occupy not the Donbass but the next adjoining states. So both sides are now at a very bad phase in terms of killing each other, eye for an eye kind of a conflict. Where do you see this thing going? Because they're also talking peace on the one side. So where do you see this thing going?
This exactly happened on the day the transit happened of Ketu and Mangal aspected by Rahu. And in Jyotish, Shriji, we say that, when Mangal is aspected by Rahu or is with Rahu, it is a yoga which we call it as a nuclear explosion, right? Kujastambhana is what we say, but in today's time, we can say it is related to, high radioactivity because of Agni and Vayu Tattva sort of being very, very important part of it. So, we need to be very, very careful because as much as people might feel that Trump Putin doesn't think too much, the fact of the matter is Putin has played this very well, because everybody expected the moment that attack happened, he is going to, at least use a dirty bomb or some sort of a nuclear thing, but that was very smartly played, because had he done that, then he was looking at more NATO sort of an involvement, and he is playing it very smartly. Now, I was just looking at Ukraine's chart, just before I came into the call. If Ukraine, this war doesn't get done by June 2026, we are looking at a huge, huge problem. And that is the time we can really say that, the N word can genuinely come into sort of real contention. So, but it is a war which, frankly speaking, Ukraine is fighting, which is a losing war. Let me be very open. Let me be very frank about it. Putin, to that extent, is very smart. He is making all the gains as far as territories are concerned. Yes, the hangars being hit or few planes being going there, but these are their own planes, Shriji. So that they will get it sorted out. The good thing about the Russians is they are not dependent on anybody else for the spare parts or anything for that matter. Everything is indigenous, right? So they will get that done, but net they are making huge progress as far as the gains are concerned on the ground. So they wouldn't complain to that extent, but yes, if you constantly keep hitting them deep into Moscow, you are playing with fire. And I have been on record to say that, because a lot of people have been talking about the world war and so on situation. And I've said that, listen, it is not America which is important for a world war. It is Germany which is important for world war. If Germany is going to get really active as far as this war is concerned, only then do we see a real threat as far as world war is concerned. But as of now, I don't feel it's a world war like a situation. It can become a dirty war, so to say. World war like situation is still a couple of years away, I would say.
Thank you so much. And viewers in the United States, even as things are quietening down in LA, yesterday LA was quiet and things have come under control. New things are flaring up, new cities, San Francisco yesterday, Chicago, and one other city in the East Coast. I don't remember the name exactly. But the idea is very clear, toolkit in play. And many Democratic congressmen, women, senators, they are willing to sell their own country in order to obtain some objectives. This kind of thing where you are setting your own house on fire, and just because it's like, there's a saying, right? You cut off your nose to spite the face. That's what Democrats appear to be doing. Tell us a little bit about how this is going to end. By the way, viewers, the California governor had challenged the order of President Trump to bring in the California National Guard in a court of law, and the judge has ruled against California governor. So this thing is a big plus for the Trump administration. So the same thing can be expected to replicate in other cities also. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, so Trump is Shriji basically following the swearing in chart, where if you remember, we had discussed that it is Lagnesh Mangal in the 4,000 debility, and it is like an Ashwamedh Yagna, and there are only two things which he is going to follow during this term. One is the Dandaniti, because it is Mangal and Surya. The only other planet which is in trines is Mercury, which is Damaneti, or shall we say tariffs, right? So technically he is going through that. Now in Sudarshana, we always look at the year progression. So the first year is all about that Mangal. The second year is Jupiter, which is going to be fantastic in terms of the economy being very, very good. The third year of the Trump administration is something, where I'm a little worried about whether he would go through that year, or what would happen, whether there is any risk to his life. All those questions would come in the third year. But as far as now is concerned, if I was Trump's advisor, I would say that there are many things you're doing it the right way. You're doing it right, but maybe you don't need to sort of at times speak out so much. At times, just have a little bit of maturity, or some level-headed mindset, and you can manage a lot of problems together. But the current transit is such, especially in Leo. When we talk about US, we technically look at Gemini as the Lagna. So technically everything is happening in the third house. Third house is a short sort of a riot. So I don't see this as a sort of boiling out like a Shaheen Bagh, like a 1-year-old or 1.5 year sort of a problem. But it's going to be a short term, very, very sort of a transitional, maybe a 15-day max problem. And he's going to control this back. But he's in this period where, his Aruda has got Ketu, his swearing in chart has got Lagnesh in debility. So all those things are there. So only thing is Trump needs to little temper it down, be it with Elon, be it with generally people around, and he would do much better.
Thank you so much, Kartik ji. We have a couple of questions from our viewers. If you don't mind, we'll take those questions.
Sure. Very happy.
Giridhara ji, thank you so much for becoming YouTube member. Vasu Iyengar has a question. Pak will be sure to cover their tracks next time and make it look like internal insurgency. So India should be prepared for internal crackdowns as well. Is there political will for this?
Political will, I think Modi ji has shown. And I'm on record to say during Modi ji's swearing in chart that whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, he will have to act in this term. So in Modi 3.0 swearing in chart, I had said that, and especially based on that nimitta, people who are following me would remember that there was a cat which was going around, and I said that, listen, this is a nimitta for Mangal because it is associated with Mesha Rashi. And so Modi ji to that extent has shown. Now see, though I have been a critic of Narendra Bhai also, and at the same time a voter also. So people need to understand, sometimes people feel that, yaar, kya ho gaya? We are voter, but then again, we aren't going to say everything is a master stroke, right? So, right. But kudos to the government. See, at Narendra Bhai's level, it is a very strategic decision at what point do you pull out the army? Because once you're in a warlike situation, it's very tough to control an army. So I would say that probably there were many other reasons, and since he is such a mature politician, but he has shown the political will, and all I am hoping for Bharat's sake is let there be another opportunity, and this time let us not even give them a face saving. There will be no DGMO which should do an official press conference requesting us to please stop the firing and let the whole world see, and then we are going to retaliate. I think we really need to talk that level.
Thank you so much. Last question. Anand Vijayan wants to know, when will you do a session to discuss Annamalai's chart, which you said you would? Did you not do it on our channel? I thought you did.
No, we haven't. Let's do it next time.
Go ahead.
Let's do it next time.
Maybe let's do it next time. Yeah, definitely next time, viewers. Kartik ji will discuss Annamalai's astrological chart 2 weeks from now. Thank you so much. Namaskar. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Once again, thank you so much, Kartik ji.
Thank you so much. Namaskar.